is tracking the week. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has arrived Tokyo, Japan, to join other African leaders, international development partners, and stakeholders at the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD 9. The event will be held from August 20th to 22nd at the Pacifico Yokohama. Bayo Onanaga, special advisor to the president's information and strategy, in a statement said President Tinubu was received at the presidential wing of the Haneda International Airport, Tokyo, by Ambassador Hideo Matsubara, the ambassador in charge of Haneda Airport for TICAD. Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and officials from the Nigerian Embassy after the plane touched down at 12:50 a.m. local time. The Japanese government initiated the triennial event, which the United Nations, UNDP, the African Union Commission, and the World Bank co-host. The event alternates between Japan and Africa, with Tunisia as the last host on August 22nd. TICAD 9, under the theme Co-Create Innovative Solutions with Africa, will focus on Africa's economic transformation and improvements in the business environment and institutions through private investment and innovation. It will also promote a resilient and sustainable African society for human security, peace, and stability. Still on Monday, Senate President Godswill Akpabio has returned to Nigeria after what his media office described as a short vacation in London. Upon his return, Akpabio dismissed the social media reports that he was critically ill and hospitalized abroad. The Senate President, who arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, at about 4 a.m. on Monday, was received at the presidential wing by senators, aides, and supporters. While speaking with journalists, Akpabio described the speculation about his health as the imagination of the purveyors, stressing that he is as fit as a fiddle. Akpabio, however, admitted he only stopped over in London for a short vacation. It would be recalled that the Senate President had attended the 6th World Conference of Speakers of Parliament in Geneva, Switzerland from July 29th to 31st before proceeding to the United Kingdom. Akpabio assured Nigerians of active parliamentary activity when the National Assembly reconvenes. Also on Monday, Oba Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja, the 44th Olubadan elect of Ibadan land, has described his journey to the ancient throne as bumpy and filled with trials, attributing his emergence to divine favor. Oba Ladoja's path to the throne began over 3 decades ago when he was installed as Jagumba Logu of Ibadan land in 1993. He progressed through the 36 hierarchical steps of the Ibadan traditional chieftaincy system. The monarch-elect paid tribute to the late Olubadan, Oba Owolabi Olakolehi, describing him as a dignified traditional ruler who upheld Ibadan's customs. Oba Ladoja expressed gratitude to the Olubadan Council for their unanimous approval and pledged to foster stronger ties with the council. The Olubadan elect plans to consult with key stakeholders, including the Oyo State Governor and traditional authorities, to prepare for his coronation. On Tuesday, Nigeria is leveraging the Tokyo International Conference on African Development to strengthen diplomatic and economic ties with Japan and African partners. The country is also positioning itself as a leading advocate for global financial system reforms and seeking broader support in global politics. Minister of Foreign Affairs Ambassador Yusuf Tuga was speaking on Tuesday on Nigerians' participation in the Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD, holding in Yokohama, Japan. Tuga highlighted that Nigeria, being a leading economy on the African continent, plays a pivotal role in the reform of the global financial architecture and is committed to supporting the continent's efforts towards debt rescheduling and restructuring to foster sustainable growth. The minister emphasized that industrialization driven reforms are essential for Nigeria to create jobs for its growing youth population and combat unemployment, a goal he said is currently being actively pursued by the Tinubu-led administration. The minister underscored that under President Tinubu's leadership at TICAD, Nigeria will strengthen partnerships across Africa, fostering economic diversification, greater regional integration, and enhanced connectivity to deliver broad-based benefits to all citizens. Tuga further revealed that Nigeria aims to expand its $1 billion trade relationship with Japan to incorporate additional sectors, including the export of more agricultural commodities, while also broadening Nigerian Japanese developmental cooperation through the Japan International Cooperation Agency (JICA) and the Japan External Trade Organization (JETRO). Also on Tuesday, the Federal High Court in Abuja has granted the request of the Department of the State Services (DSS) to shield the identities of the witnesses that would give evidence in the trial of the 5 alleged Al-Shabaab terrorists involved in the June 5, 2022 attack at St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, Ondo State, in which over 40 worshippers died. The accused persons, who were brought to court under tight security by operatives of the Department of the State Service (DSS), complained bitterly that they had been kept in custody for 3 years. While arguing the application, the lawyer submitted that the accused persons have assembled reliable and responsible sureties to stand for them. The request was, however, vehemently opposed by the DSS lawyer, Dr. C.S. Eze, on the ground that the accused persons may bolt away because of the gravity of the charges against them. He urged the court to refuse the bail application and allow the defendants to remain in the DSS custody. After taking arguments for and against, Justice Emeka Nwite fixed September 10 to make his decisions known on the matter. However, Justice Nwite has adjourned till September 10th to deliver a ruling on the defense bail application. On Wednesday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Wednesday in Yokohama, Japan, lauded the Nigerian armed forces for their successes in the war against insurgency and criminality, while emphasizing his administration's commitment to addressing the root causes of insecurity through strengthening the government's security apparatus and ongoing economic reforms. President Tinubu made the remarks during his intervention at the plenary section on peace and stability at the 9th meeting of the Tokyo International Conference for African Development, TICAD 9. He reaffirmed that inclusivity, diversity, and the rule of law remains Nigeria's greatest strengths. He described the current momentum in the Nigerian armed forces as a springboard for national development and stability. He spoke after the opening ceremony, during which the Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba emphasized the importance of mutual understanding, local solutions, and collaborative efforts for Africa's development. The Prime Minister outlined Japan's focus on private sector-led sustainable growth, youth and women empowerment, and regional integration. Prime Minister Ishiba announced a collaborative economic framework between Japan and the African Development Bank that will see a maximum of $5.5 billion disbursed to Africa, utilizing Japan International Cooperation Agency private sector investment finance as a catalyst. Still on Wednesday, the Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima on Wednesday led the federal government delegation on a condolence visit to Kogi State Governor Usman Ododo at his Okene residence to commiserate with the Ododo family over the passing of their patriarch Alhaji Ahmed Momoshani Ododo. Accompanied by the governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, and the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, among others, the Vice President prayed Almighty Allah to grant his soul eternal rest and reward him with Al-Jannah Firdaus, and also his family and the good people of Kogi State the fortitude to bear the loss. Senator Shettima, who said the delegation was in the state on behalf of President Bola Tinubu to extend condolences to Governor Ododo and the entire family, described the passing of Pa Ododo as a great loss to the whole nation. Earlier in his remark, Governor Ododo thanked the Vice President for the visit, commending his leadership and acknowledging his qualities. Before heading to the Kogi State for the condolence visit, Vice President Kashim Shettima was among hundreds of sympathizers who prayed on the third day of prayers for his late in-law, Mohammed Modu Manga, at the deceased residence in Maiduguri, Kogi State. The deceased died on Monday, August 18, 2025, leaving behind one wife, Hajia Zara Shettima, an elder sister to the Vice President, and 4 children. Also on Wednesday, Governor Hyacinth Ali of Benue State has suspended Chairman of Otukpo Local Government Area, Mr. Maxwell Ogiri, the Chairman of the State Universal Basic Education Board, Mrs. Grace D. Adakba, and the Executive Secretary of the Benue State Lottery Commission, Mr. Michael Opa, for the period of 1 month, effective today, August 20th, 2025. The suspension came after the governor upheld the resolutions of the Benue State House of Assembly conveyed to the office regarding the suspension of some public officials. In a statement issued by the Chief Press Secretary to Benue State Governor Teso Kola, Governor Alia reiterates his unwavering commitment to the rule of law, due process, and the principles of separation of powers. He commends the House of Assembly for exercising its constitutional responsibilities and assures the people of Benue State that his administration remains dedicated to transparency, accountability, and good governance. On Thursday, Nigeria unveiled Africa's first National Assembly Deliberative Barometer and Policy-Focused Productivity Reports, a digital platform designed to track the performance of lawmakers and strengthen accountability. The tool, developed by EGAF Africa in partnership with CISLAC, allows citizens to monitor debates, bills, motions, petitions, and committee activities in both chambers of the National Assembly. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, represented by Honorable Cyril Hart, said the initiative aligns with the 10th House commitment to transparency and evidence-based lawmaking, stressing that it will raise the standard of representation, lawmaking, and oversight. EGAF Africa President Dr. Chibuzo Okereke said the barometer was created after 3 years of research to help Nigerians access lawmakers beyond constituency projects. He explained that it shows who contributed most in debates, which committees discharged referrals, and which members focused on issues like women, youth, education, or climate change. Still on Thursday, towards reducing the rate of unemployment among Nigerian youths, the federal government, with the support of the World Bank, is set to engage 10 million youths in skill acquisition. The initiative under the Nigerian Youth Employment Skills Acquisition Fund also seeks to encourage skills acquisition among the youths. The Skills Acquisition Initiative by the federal government through the Federal Ministry of Education is with the support of the World Bank towards reducing the rate of unemployment in the country. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, represented by his technical assistant, Mambila Mohammed, and the National Project Coordinator, Nigerian Youth Employment Skill Acquisition Funds, Blessing Ogu, said the intervention aimed at addressing skills gap and promoting employability among Nigerian youths. Also, the representative of the World Bank and an education expert, Dr. Mistura Adedoyi, said bank's intervention was to encourage skill acquisition among Nigerian youths and reduce the rate of unemployment in the country. Also on Thursday, the International Organization for Migration, IOM, has donated the sum of 1.7 billion naira to support the humanitarian crisis in Yelwata and Naka communities of Guma and West local councils of Benue State. The Deputy Director General for Operations IOM, Ugochi Daniels, disclosed this at the Government House Makodi when she led a high-powered delegation that included the UNICEF country representative in Nigeria, Wafa Sahid, and other envoys and dignitaries on a field visit to Benue State. This donation marks a new lease of life for displaced persons in Yelwata and Naka IDPs handed down by the International Organization for Migration, led by the Deputy Director General for Operations as Governor Hyacinth Alia equally matches the donation to support humanitarian interventions in the states. Following the humanitarian situation in Benue, Governor Alia calls for partnership in the implementation of durable solutions for IDPs, which is resettlement, reintegration, and housing, as well as agricultural value chains to boost food security in the state and Nigeria at large. On Friday, Benue State House of Assembly has suspended 4 of its members for 3 months over alleged plans to impeach the Speaker, Honorable Hyacinth Dajo. The suspended members are Honorable Beggar Alfred Mbaga, Honorable Shimawa Emmanuel, Honorable Cyril Ijebe, and Honorable Abu Umoru. The decision to suspend the members was taken during plenary in Makodi, following what was described as gross misconduct and acts capable of destabilizing the House. The suspended lawmakers were accused of conspiring to remove the Speaker through an impeachment move deemed unlawful and against the standing rules of the Assembly. Presiding over the sitting, the Speaker warned that the Assembly would not tolerate actions aimed at undermining its stability, stressing that discipline must be upheld to protect the integrity of the legislature. Still on Friday, the government of Japan has named the city of Kisarazu as the hometown for Nigerians willing to live and work in the country as part of its strategic efforts to deepen cultural diplomacy, promote economic growth, and enhance workforce productivity. Under this new partnership, announced on the sidelines of the 9th Tokyo International Conference for African Development, the Japanese government will create a special visa category for highly skilled, innovative, and talented young Nigerians who want to move to Kisarazu to live and work. Artisans and other blue-collar workers from Nigeria who are ready to upskill will also benefit from the special dispensation visa to work in Japan. Through the arrangement, Japan looks to strengthen exchanges with the 4 African countries by officially connecting municipalities with existing relations with those nations. Nigerians charged to affairs Mrs. Florence Akiyemi Adiseke, also the acting ambassador to Japan, and Yoshikuni Watanabe, the mayor of Kisarazu, received the certificate from the Japanese government naming Kisarazu the hometown of Nigerians. The 4 cities will foster a foundation for two-way exchanges for manpower development that will add value to the economic growth of Japan, Nigeria, and other 3 African nations. Lastly, on the international news, the Ogun 1 Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service (NCS) has intercepted a 2021 Rolls-Royce Ghost, a Honda Accord 2018 model, a 2014 Mercedes-Benz, among other contrabands smuggled into the state. The seizures also include 4,424 bags of foreign parboiled rice, 50 sacks, and 1,996 parcels of coconut-sized cannabis sativa, 105 pieces of used pneumatic tires, 21 bills, and 3 sacks of used clothes, and 6,400 liters of premium motor spirits, all at a duty paid value of 1,401,531,923 naira 95 kobo. The area controller Godwin Otunla disclosed this in a press conference held at the command's headquarters Idiroko, Ogun State. Handing Enforcement Agency NDLEA, the customs controller stated the synergy is not only in compliance with the government directives but also reinforces collective determination to safeguard public health, ensure national security, and protect the future of youth from the devastating effects of hard drugs. Responding, the commander of the NDLEA Diroko Special Command, Williams Ekundayo, applauded the command, noting that the current seizure made it 3 in 2 months. And that's all we have for you on Tracking the Week.